So, quick question. How many people here have ever wanted to play guitar or actually do play guitar? Cool, a lot of people. All right, well, I'm talking about guitar technique today, and that's not really something that is taught in lessons when you're first starting out. Generally, you just learn like simple chords at first, but the proper way to actually play notes and have correct control over the instrument isn't really something that's covered. So there's basically 4 parts to it. You have your picking hand positioning and technique, and your fretting hand positioning and technique. For credibility's sake, I've been playing guitar for 8 years. I'm a music major here. This is how I'm gonna make a living, so I have to not suck at it. And for my sources, I got all this through guitar lessons that I've had for the past 8 years. So that's that. Okay, so for your dominant hand, which is your picking hand, this is all pretty simple. This is just a pick, and you put it between your thumb and your index finger. I mean, your pointer finger, oh my gosh, your pointing finger, yeah. If you put it between any other set of fingers, you don't have nearly as much control over the guitar, and that also leaves these 3 fingers over here open, so you can do like finger stuff like that, walking bass lines, that kind of stuff. It's pretty useful. So that's that. Honestly, there's not a lot more to this hand. You need to make sure that you're not downstroking too much, because a lot of punk players just only downstroke or something like that. And if you do that, you're really going to pigeonhole yourself, and you're not going to be able to play a lot of other more complicated things that require faster picking and stuff like that. So this hand's pretty simple. Now the fretting hand, this is the one that everyone messes up. I messed it up for years. I still kind of mess it up. So you want to make sure that your thumb sits against the bottom of the fretboard right here, and then your fingers lay, each of them across a separate fret. If you have 2 fingers on the same fret, or you have one that's not covered at all, if your fingers are just sort of randomly on there, you're not going to be able to use them nearly as efficiently as you normally could, because you need to be able to use all of your fingers. A lot of players start out learning like a pentatonic scale like this, and they don't use their pinky at all, and then it just gets weaker and weaker and weaker until basically they can't use one of their fingers, which means they can only play 3/4 as fast at best as someone who has complete control over their hand. So like something like a complicated head, like let's see, that requires all 4 fingers. You literally can't do that with 3. So that's necessary. Now with actually playing single notes, you need to make sure, picture your fingers kind of like a hammer hitting the string that you're aiming for. You need to make sure that it's upward and vertical so that you're not covering up any other strings, because if you do, when you try to play like a standard chord, if your hand is muddled and positioned like that, everything gets muted and it sounds really bad and it's really awkward and it's just not good. So that's that. Also, you need to make sure that your hand stays really relaxed. There's a couple players here that I know who have had like a lot of stress in their hands while they've been playing, and if you practice like 2 to 3 hours a day and have a lot of tension, you can actually end up getting tendonitis from it, and then you just can't play at all. And it actually does slow you down too. Like if there's a lot of stress in your hand, you just simply can't play as fast. So that's basically it. If your picking hand has correct positioning and technique, and your fingers in your fretting hand are doing what they're supposed to, playing in general will be a lot easier, a lot faster, and you'll just be able to play a lot better than you would otherwise. So